Aloha, and here I am again. I'm doing a video. I just put one out today, but I'm putting out another one because of something that happened in Hawaii. But before I say that, I want to thank everyone who's supported the Patreon account that I've started. Um, I am going to be producing more videos this year, more than I have in the last couple of years, and doing commentary on subjects that I believe a lot of people want to hear. I've certainly had that feedback, so I'm going to do that. And thank you so very much to everyone who supported the Patreon account and who supported me over the years. I simply could not have done all the things that I've done without your support, bottom line. So thank you, sincerely. Hawaii. Today in Hawaii, there was a false alarm. I lived in Hawaii for many years, so this is my connection to it and why I feel compelled to do a video right away. They have an emergency broadcast alarm system that they use once a month. It has test alarms, and if you live in Hawaii, you'll know this. And today there was an alarm on that very system which announced a ballistic missile was heading towards Hawaii. This basically caused panic and concern. And there were news reports of people fleeing all populated areas, getting away from military bases, which is hard because Hawaii is an imperial outpost. And there were even reports of people lifting up manhole covers and putting their family members, children, into the sewers in order to find shelter. Because believe you me, that's the only place you would find shelter. Not that it would really be any kind of guarantee in the least to survive a nuclear blast, but at the end of the day, you'd be better off going into a sewer than being exposed. And maybe if you had a boat, that would be the best option to try and get away from the islands as quickly as possible. But if there was a nuclear war, Hawaii is going to be one of the primary targets. It is the headquarters of Pacific Command, which considers its jurisdiction to be roughly half of the world. It is an imperial base and has countless nuclear weapons. Nobody knows just how many, but they're pointed at targets all around the world. And America's presence in Hawaii means that Hawaii is a target. And if there is a nuclear war, Hawaii will be incinerated. There will be no one left. So I'm doing this video because of my love for Hawaii and the people of Hawaii and the desire to see a better world. So here's my quick story about Hawaii. I have never felt a connection to any land like I have Hawaii. I was born in California, but I grew up in Southern California. I don't feel a connection to that land. It is stolen land to begin with, but even if we try and give that a pass, where I grew up in Southern California is all about materialism and superficial bullshit that has nothing to do with anything really valuable in life. And so I don't feel any real connection to Southern California or California at all. And America, quite frankly. There's so many beautiful things about America, but boy, oh boy, has that country been hijacked. And, I just don't feel, I feel a love and a certain amount of loyalty to the best interest of America, but the interest of America is what gets hard to define, and I don't feel interest in maintaining the American imperial system, that's for sure. Anyway, I lived in Hawaii for many years, and I realized at a certain point I developed a scuba diving business, whale watching. I was a boat captain, I was a dive instructor, I was doing something that I loved. I was fulfilled. I had everything that most people could ever dream of. I lived on the beach, I had money, everything was great. But my political involvement in the Hawaiian independence movement made me a target, and I had warrants issued for my arrest that were totally bogus political attacks, tied to concocted violations of the law with regard to driving. They pull you over and give you a ticket, and this is just the way it works. They can easily target you, and I found myself in the Hawaiian courts many, many times defending myself, and I learned a lot about the corruption of the so-called American justice system, admiralty law, and the fact that when you enter into U.S. courts, you don't have any constitutional protections at all. You're in a dictatorship, and the judge is a dictator. And if you don't understand the language, the legalese that's expressed, you have no defense. And most lawyers aren't going to be able to help you at all, because all the lawyers, interesting point, have sworn an oath of allegiance to the Queen of England. Literally. I'm not making that up. If your allegiance isn't to the people and actual law and to the Queen, how is that considered law? So, I had warrants issued for my arrest for bogus things that led to me actually fleeing Hawaii 2 months after 9/11. Of course, on 9/11, I was aware of false flag methods, and I knew that this was some sort of false flag. And I made a decision. I made a decision based on the fact that if I stayed in Hawaii, I knew I would end up in prison for something that I didn't do. That's the way it works. People who don't understand what it is to be an activist that truly threatens the powers that be won't comprehend this, and whatever, fair enough. But that's the way it is. If you confront systems of power in an effective way or a meaningful way, or if you're perceived in any way to be a threat, they will come after you, whether you're in America or any other country. And so I literally fled a paradise life with money, a beautiful business, a lifestyle that I loved, doing what I loved, and became a political asylum refugee in Holland. Eventually, I returned to Hawaii. After leaving in 2001, I returned. I became a member of the Hawaiian government. I renounced my U.S. citizenship. I professed an oath of allegiance to the Hawaiian government. There is an existing Hawaiian government. I made a film about this very thing, the United States of Hypocrisy. Go into YouTube, put in United States of Hypocrisy, and you'll see the film. It's nearly 2 hours, and it explains all the things that I could explain right now. They're in that film, so I encourage people to go and watch the film. The reason why I'm doing this today is that while I was in Hawaii, I actually had incredible blessing to become not only a Hawaiian citizen in lawful terms, but also I became a representative in the Hawaiian government. I represented District 6 on Oahu. There are 24 districts throughout the Hawaiian nation, and I was the representative, democratically elected, of District 6 on the North Shore of Oahu. And while I was a member of the government, and before I was a member of the government, I had the blessing of writing 2 different laws that became part of Hawaiian Kingdom law. The first one was to to commit to a course of nonviolence except in the case of self-defense. The reason for that was that I recognized way back in 2000 that Hawaii would be a potential target for a false flag that could be used to link the Hawaiian government to violent resistance or so-called terrorism, and I felt it was important that they neutralize that, and that law was passed. It's part of Hawaiian Kingdom law that the only method for violence would be justified by self-defense. There would be no violent actions to try and overthrow the U.S. government, and I think any rational person would understand that for a tiny Hawaiian nation to try and confront the U.S. government on military terms is silly. It's a losing cause. So that was the reason for that. The other law that I wrote and was passed by the Hawaiian government while I was a representative of District 6 is to outlaw weapons of mass destruction in Hawaii. Now, at the time, and even to this day, it really doesn't mean anything to anybody. So what if obscure, not fully exercising sovereign government declares something? What difference does it make? But the thing that I really want to impart to everyone who cares about a better world is that Hawaii's cause is your cause, like the Palestinian cause is your cause. Everyone who wants justice should support the Hawaiian cause, because a fully sovereign Hawaiian nation would be absent of weapons of mass destruction, which means all of the nuclear weapons that are housed in Hawaii will not be directed at all of these nations around the world, China and Russia in particular, but other points around the world. Wouldn't that be a good thing? Can you imagine a sovereign Hawaiian government actually exercising its authority and saying to the big empire of the United States, you got to get your stuff out of here? They would never be able to achieve that unless, of course, they had the support of people all around the world. Can you imagine how beautiful it would be to see the United States sail its aircraft carriers and take its submarines that are all nuclear armed to take them out of Hawaii and take them back to your mainland of the United States? Even though it wouldn't solve our problems completely, it would be a beautiful day. And actually, I have an actual visual of Hawaiian people and Hawaiian citizens watching the last aircraft carrier sail out of Pearl Harbor and for Hawaii to be free of weapons of mass destruction. I believe this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It is a literal dream of mine, and I truly believe that it's possible. In fact, I know that it's possible. All we as people need to do is exercise our ability, our power, our true power, and we can achieve it. So today in Hawaii, especially for those of you that are there, especially the Kanaka Maoli, who are kind of on the fence and don't really think too much about the possibility of being a sovereign nation, please, you have. And if you watch my film, The United States of Hypocrisy, I don't believe any nation on the planet has a stronger case for resuming their political authority than Hawaii. Literally. It really is an amazing story. Most people have no idea, but again, I spent 8 months non-stop producing The United States of Hypocrisy, and I'm telling you, the case for Hawaiian independence is stronger than I believe anyone else's around the world. Certainly one of the strongest cases. And that would be a good thing. As much as we all love Hawaii and 5 million plus visitors come to Hawaii every year, it shouldn't be a military outpost for an empire. The Hawaiian people, aloha, that word, if you watch The United States of Hypocrisy, the film that I made, you'll see Uncle Robert. Uncle Robert is the quintessential Hawaiian, Kanaka Maoli. He is an amazing man. He's since passed on, sadly, but in that film I interviewed him, and he explains the meaning of aloha. And what he said was, aloha means come. We share. Whatever we have, we share with you. All the Hawaiian people ever asked in terms of sharing all of their beautiful wealth and their beautiful nation was respect. That's it. But they haven't been respected. They've been more than not respected. They've been disrespected. They've had their land stolen. The Hawaiian people, the Kanaka Maoli, have been marginalized. They have the highest rates of cancer, heart disease, domestic abuse, incarceration, you name it, all of the bad categories. The Hawaiians are at the top of the list, just like the Native Americans on their reservations. Same story, exact same story. If you care about justice and you care about a better world, then care about Hawaii. And I hope that this video will introduce a lot of people to the cause of Hawaii and understand that their cause is indeed your cause. We can make a better world, and there are a lot of ways that we can approach creating a better world, and Hawaii offers one such opportunity to take us in that direction. And I hope all of the people of Hawaii who understood the possibility of a nuclear strike in your land, where you're living at least, would have meant the death of you and your family, incinerated. And you're going to continue to live with that possibility as long as the world is in the state it is right now. I don't believe that's acceptable. I don't believe anyone should tolerate that. I don't believe we should have any nuclear weapons at all. I don't believe that we are acting in a sane manner. And I know for a fact that we as humans have the capacity to change this world for the better, but we have not yet done what we need to do to affect a better world. Why don't we do that? Maybe 2018 is the year to do that. I certainly hope so, because I don't know how much time we have left. And even if we didn't have nuclear weapons, even if we just indulged in a third world war with conventional weapons, how deadly do you think that would be? And do you need your loved one to be blown to bits? Do you need your nation to be overrun? Do you need to lose all your freedom and live under the jackboot of some invading, occupying force to understand why this is not acceptable? If there's one thing that I would urge people to develop, it is the ability to put yourself in the position of the other. And that is exactly why I became a part of the Hawaiian independence movement, because I realized that I was living in this magnificent, beautiful Garden of Eden, and I hadn't taken the time to understand the history or the culture, much less earn the respect of the people of Hawaii. And when I commenced to doing that, I did eventually earn the respect of the Hawaiian people who know their history, are proud of who they are, and will not accept an empire taking over their nation. And they will, till their last dying breath, fight in an intelligent, moral way to effect justice, not only for themselves, but for everyone else who understands the oppressive reality of a nuclear, imperial, never-ending war reality that we live in. We don't have to have this world. We can create a better world. I want to express in parting my love and respect for the Kanaka Maoli, the Hawaiian people. I am your brother, and I am every bit as much a Hawaiian citizen, even though I lack all of the blood of the Hawaiian people. I am your ally, and I am your brother, as I am the Palestinian people, and every people who know what it is to experience injustice and the wrath of the empire. It is time now for us to create a better world, and we can, and we will, if we do what we're capable of.